I would not take them big because as much as I like the Saints offense, I am still on the fence with their defense. Yeah, you get games last week on Monday night like they had against the Colts, but then you get games like the previous week they had against the 49ers. And by the way, both those games were in New Orleans. So I can't put my finger on why you can shut down one team and not at least slow down the other. There's no reason for the Niners to score 40-plus points against them at home. If the 49ers still won that game 24-20, okay, fine. But they won that game 48-42. I mean, come on, Pod. This Saints defense has got some, I don't know if it's mental scheme or, deployment of personnel, but there are issues with this defense as far as consistency being the biggest problem more than anything else. Not saying that they don't have ballers because they do have pro bowlers on this defense. They have to play better more often and more consistently for me to even be a true believer in them.
Well, I know they have some big defensive line injuries.
Yeah, they do. I don't have those names on the report because those guys have been out for a number of weeks. Some of them have been shut down for the year.
Sheldon Rankins, Marcus Davenport.
Yeah. But the names that do show for the Saints on the injury report are Janoris Jenkins, Patrick Robinson, and Von Bell. That's three members of the secondary, along with Kiko Alonso, their linebacker. They will also be without Andres Pete, their offensive tackle. He's going to be out. The Titans placed their kicker, Ryan Suckup, on injury reserve today. So that'll be interesting if this game is close. Also showing up on the Titans injury report, quarterback Adoree Jackson, wide receiver Adam Humphries, and linebacker Darren Bates.
They did sign another kicker. They have another kicker. I just don't remember who it is off the top of my head. I'll have to look that up.
He'll be cut by Monday.
Weather is 55 degrees and sunny for Nashville. I'm sorry, 55 degrees and mostly cloudy on Sunday in Nashville. But in other words, weather's really not that big of a factor. I think I also saw something that the Titans may actually finish the season with more misses than made field goals, which is also an odd occurrence in NFL history.
Considering that they moved ever since they moved the extra point back, it's messed with kickers across the board. And who would think that something like moving the extra point back 10 yards would mess with everyone's regular routine field goal kicking? But it has.
I wouldn't. Their kicker is currently Ryan Suckup. Nope, that's not right.
No, it's not Suckup. I mean, if he's going to kick out there with the knee.
This has not been updated. Greg Joseph, who they grabbed off of waivers. That's who I saw that they grabbed.
Gotcha. Like I said, he'll be cut by Monday.
And by the way, Janoris Jenkins for the Saints is a new addition. He was taken off of waivers. The Giants cut him, for a whole bunch of off the field issues, which we don't need to get into. But
nope, stay off Twitter.
Saints got him. We'll see if he does anything. The Carolina Panthers are 5-9. The Indianapolis Colts are now 6-8. The Panthers are 24th in our power rankings. The Colts are 16th. Colts are favored by 7 in this particular game. Will Grier, the rookie, will start for the Panthers over the play 60 kid Kyle Allen. Ever since we said Jacoby Brissett was the answer in Indy, James, they haven't won a game. The James curse is real. Every time you unite a quarterback, he hits the bricks.
Yeah, I don't think so. As far as, look, if anything, this will probably be the one game this week that I actually lock. Taking the Colts here. Look, they ran into a buzzsaw that was New Orleans this past Monday night. And, I can't say that I'm shocked by what happened, mainly because of what I just talked about when the Saints matchup. They got blasted the previous week by the Niners. You knew the defense was going to bounce back and try to make a statement. the Colts just happen to be victims of the Saints making that statement. I don't believe the Colts are that bad defensively. They just ran into a Saints team that had something to prove. But yes, on the whole, this Colts team is wildly inconsistent, and yet I still blame a 3-game stretch in which Jacoby Brissett was injured. So they don't lose those 3 games. They're, 9-5 right now instead of 6-8?
Yeah, it could be. Run CMC, by the way, needs 186 yards to reach 1,000 receiving. For some reason, I guess our math last week was very wrong because I didn't think he needed that many receiving yards still to get to 1,000. That's a lot. He had 88 receiving yards last week. I don't think
that's doable. Trust me, it's doable.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
90 plus per game.
Well, it does help that you have a rookie quarterback to start because dump off passes will get CMC the yards, but I do believe Indy. Yeah, I do believe Indy will come out with the victory in this one. They play in a dome, so the weather doesn't matter. I was about to go look up the weather.
No big names on the Panthers injury report outside of Marquise Haynes, defensive end. For the Colts, Kenny Moore, the cornerback, Anthony Walker, the linebacker, Quincy Wilson, the corner, and Roland Milligan, the safety, all show up as questionable. Autry, the Nico Autry, the defensive end, is in concussion protocol.
The NFC least toilet bowl, the New York Giants versus the Washington Redskins. Both teams are 3-11. The Giants are 29th in the power rankings. The Redskins are 30th. They are favored by 2.5. Due to the home field advantage, our power rankings will take the Redskins to win this particular game. Giants have won the past 2 versus the Redskins and are going back to rookie Daniel Jones. Is that correct, James?
It is. He is, but he's also on the injury report with an ankle. So we'll see how that holds out and whether he finishes the game on Sunday.
Dwayne Haskins, also a rookie, starting for the Redskins. Is this a quarterback battle we're going to be seeing for years there in the NFC least?
I want to say no. But the way the other 2 quarterbacks are playing right now, possibly.
I am going to go with the home team. Do you know if they're still selling tickets for $4 a pop there in Washington? That is a deal and a half.
Oh man, I can call family up in DC and figure out if they aren't. But I'm going to lean towards yes. Look, for as long as the Eagles have been coming down to Washington, and in this case, Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, to play against the Washington football team, it's always been a sea of red. When I watched that game on Sunday, there was a stark amount of green in the crowds, more so than I'm used to seeing in my 30-plus years of watching games in that Washington venue. So, yeah, I've never seen that much green at a Washington home game ever between Philly and Washington. So that was alarming and illuminating.
The StubHub has 2 tickets left at $15 a piece. As of the recording, they had 5 at $38 a piece. I'm now going to Ticketmaster, which is the NFL ticket exchange here. So let's see what we have here. Landover, Maryland, Redskins, Giants. Ticket prices may fluctuate based on demand at any given time. Okay, that sounds great. Oh, I'm seeing 15, 16. I mean, obviously these are nosebleed sections. Section 416, row 2.
Yep.
So yeah, you're way up there to get these types of prices. But I mean, hey,
it's a football game.
A professional football game. Although this has got
that's what you want to call
a preseason feel all over it, doesn't it?
Unfortunately. Nothing else to add to this game. I'm taking Washington. Only names mentioned on the injury report. Washington has Quentin Dunbar, who was hurt Sunday, who was replaced by Josh Norman, who I didn't even know was still on the team. And the Giants also have Rhett Ellerson, the tight end, and Kevin Zeitler, the guard, listed as questionable, along with Daniel Jones.
43, partly cloudy. Let's see what Neil has to say about this particular toilet bowl of a matchup. He actually calls this the Chase Young Bowl.
Uh-oh.
James. Unfortunately, Washington will likely win this game with Haskell starting to slip into the speed of the game. We saw more spread last week, and you can see Haskell prefers that. Please note, 0 sack stat compared to the previous few weeks. With the Giants' moribund defense, this should give Haskell plenty of opportunities. Scary Terry needs around 170 yards for his 1,000 season. He may get it in this game. Believe it or not, Eric Flowers has had a terrific season at left guard. Yes, Flowers has restored my faith in miracles. Ha, 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 ha. Defensively, Saquon Barkley scares every team, and he scares Washington. Our inside linebackers are horrid. Look for a lot of attention on him. We'll let Moreau and Dunbar go one-on-one with the Giants wide receivers. If the 2019 draft produces a starting quarterback, a number 1 receiver, a number 2 receiver in Harmon, a starting pass rusher in Sweat, although Old Spice has done everything they can to keep Sweat out of the NFL, and a starting guard, Wes Martin, it could transform the franchise. Throw in undrafted free agent Sims, and the future's bright. New York Giants 17, Washington 31. Washington did have a pretty good draft. They do now have a strong nucleus to build around there.
Yeah, and I'll talk about this later when I start, giving Kevin's team praise as far as winning the division. Washington this past Sunday against Philadelphia started a rookie quarterback and 3 rookie wide receivers. That was their starting lineup. Receivers 1, 2, and 3 were all rookies, and they torched the Eagles' defense. He mentioned no sacks, none, no pass rush, no coverage, nothing. Those guys were pretty much running free and happy, and it was complete spread, and Haskins looked like a savvy vet until the very last play of the game. But, it's just great that he playing like that consistently.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-6. They are on the road visiting the New York Jets, who are 5-9. 15th team versus the 27th team. The Steelers favored by 3 points in this game. It's been a while, James, since I've given you an NFL 100 nugget. In the 2004 divisional playoffs, Pittsburgh rookie quarterback Ben Roethlisberger threw a game-tying touchdown to wide receiver Hines, I always keep my head on a swivel, Ward, to force overtime, then led the Steelers on a methodical drive to set up a walk-off field goal to beat the Jets 20-17. Steelers still going with Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century at quarterback. I think a similar outcome isn't out of the ordinary, with the Jets having no reason to win another game this season. We are all taking the Steelers.
Yeah, that playoff game, that was Herm Edwards still coaching the Jets at that point, correct?
You play to win the game.
Absolutely. I'm taking the Steelers. I don't need to harp on the Jets any more than I have already. Their coaching staff is a clown show of riches. And if you like the circus, definitely watch the Jets coaches on the sidelines. Big name injuries showing up. Juju Smith-Schuster, who missed Sunday night against the Bills, still questionable for this week. So take from that what you will. It's probably going to be a game-time decision again because he was a last-minute scratch on Sunday night. Vance McDonald is also on the injury report, so a couple of weapons are going to be missing if they don't go. For the Jets, I don't even know why this guy's name is listed. Demaryius Thomas is nursing a hamstring. Cornerback Brian Poole is on the injury report, along with safety Jamal Adams. Quentin Williams also shows up on the injury report as well, defensive tackle.
I mean, it's almost a shame that the Titans are in this battle with the Texans, because the Steelers here finished the season at New York and then at Baltimore. The Titans hosting New Orleans and then at Houston. And you got to feel like the Steelers have a better chance of winning at least one of those games more than the Titans do. And
absolutely.
And that's a shame, because I think I'd rather see the Titans in the playoffs than the Steelers.
Whatever.
I mean, I say that as a football fan, I'd rather see the Titans. As a Patriots fan, I'd much rather see the Steelers in the playoffs, because we can crush the Steelers. It's not even a question.
I mean, you already did it in week 1.
Right. And that was with Big Ben not Duck Dodgers.